right, hello, welcome to our website walkthrough webinar. I'm Stephanie and I'll be hosting the webinar today. I'm going to wait just a couple of minutes to give everyone a chance to get signed in and we'll get started soon. Okay, I think we have everyone, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Again, welcome to our webinar. We're going to be going over managing your unit website with UnitWise. I'm Stephanie, I'll be hosting the webinar today. So we'll go ahead and take a look at what we're going to be going over today. So we're going to be going over the resource library, changing themes, the design and the header of your site, creating pages, and making sure your work is saved. And then we'll look at settings for page settings, general settings, and the layout of your site, as well as how to change the colors and fonts. The resource library, this is where you're going to be storing the files that you'll want to use on your website. You can also use them in any email marketing campaign. So we'll go over adding documents, images, videos, and audio, as well as how to manage your training center. This is where you'll add documents that you want your unit to have access to, and go over what the shared library is and how to add documents to it. Right. We'll go over changing the themes and design of your website. So we have some pre-made templates that we'll look through, as well as how to design a custom site if you don't want to use any of those templates. Okay. And then we'll go over changing your header, so adding text and images to your header, as well as changing the color of it, and what to do if you have a custom header that you want to add. And then we'll go into adding pages. So we'll kind of briefly go over the types of pages that you can add, and then how to add content to those pages once they're created. So we'll go over adding links, videos, and images, and then making sure those pages are published and applying any changes that you've made. Okay. We'll look through the settings. So we'll look at changing page settings, how to password protect a page, and how to hide a page as well. And we'll go over the general settings for your UnitWise site, adding a Shop With Me link to your Mary Kay page, as well as changing the order of the menu options, and the layout of itself, so just changing the way that the site is laid out. And then we'll go through changing the colors and fonts throughout your site. So the header, the menu, the body, any of those fonts and colors can be changed, so we'll kind of go into that. All right, just quickly want to mention that the My UnitWise app is now available for Apple and Android devices. It's free with your UnitWise subscription. It's just a really great way to keep in touch with your unit. So if you want more information, you can visit this site. And then also our next webinar on May 10th is going to be focused on My UnitWise. So you can make sure you get signed up for that. We'll talk a little bit more about that towards the end. As always, here's our support information. We've got our phone number and email address there, as well as how to find us on social media. So after this webinar, if you have any questions that weren't answered, or if you would like just a one-on-one walkthrough setting up your site, please feel free to give us a call or email us, and we'll schedule that. We're always here to help you guys. So are there any questions before we get started? You can type questions to your screen, and we'll be able to see them here. All right, I don't think we have any questions, so we'll go ahead and get started. All right, so we're going to go ahead. To get started, you would just go to unitwise.com, and we're going to get signed in like normal. You'll just go up to the sign in button here, put in your username and password, ours is already saved, and just hit submit. All right, and before we get started, I do just kind of want to show you what our website is going to look like. So this is our website that we're going to be editing today. So you'll see you have the header here, you've got the body, you have two different menus up at the top, and then the one over on the side here. Right, and a couple of these pages are going to be already set up for you when you sign in as a new user. So, for example, the events page here is going to connect to your UnitWise calendar, and you can tell it which events you want to show on the calendar, which ones you don't. This Contact Us form is also going to be set up for you already, and there's also going to be an About Me page that you can edit and a blog page that you can edit. So going back into your UnitWise account, we're going to get started on the resource library. So like I said before, the resource library is where you'll store all of your docs for email marketing and the ones that you want to use on the website. So to get there, we're going to click on Resource Library up at the top, and we'll just go to Document Library. So as you can see, we have a lot of categories here over on the left in the pink. The first time you sign in, you won't have those, so those are all added by you. See, we have the different categories up at the top. We have Document Library, Image Library, Photo Gallery, Audio Library, Video Library, Training Center, and Shared Library. So in all of these sections are going to be set up pretty much the same. Over here towards the top right, you're going to be able to manage the categories. So here you could either add a category. You'll just name the category there, put the order you want it displayed. So if you want it to show up first, you would just change this to 1. And save that. Throughout UnitWise, anytime you see this little piece of paper with the pencil, that's going to be your edit option, and then this trash can will be your delete. So if you want to get rid of any categories after you've created them, you can do that as well. So going back to the document library, you'll be able to upload a document here. So you'll just click this button. Okay. You can choose to either upload one document at a time here in the single upload section, or you can click on multiple upload if you have many documents that you want to add in. So you'll just give your document a name. You can choose which category you want it to go into by clicking this category name drop down and pick which one. Then you'll choose your file. So you'll just find the file that you want to upload. We'll pick that one. And we'll put it in that category that we just made. And go ahead and save. Right. Now when we look at that category, you'll see that document that we just uploaded. If you've already uploaded a document but you want to change which category it is, you can just select this check here, click on Move To, and then you can select which category you want to move it to. And it's pretty much going to be the same setup for the image library. You'll be able to look at your image categories, upload an image, or move an image from one category to another. The audio library, same setup. Look at the categories, upload audio, move to. You can move it to a different category. So the only difference is going to be in the video library. So you'll still have your video categories that you can manage. But when you go to add a video, instead of pulling a file from your computer, it's going to ask you for the source, so where you're getting that video from. It does have to be a video that's already uploaded to YouTube, Vimeo, Facebook. YouTube usually works best, so that's what we recommend. And then you would paste the URL that should look similar to this one here right in there and click Save. All right. There's a difference between those libraries and then the Training Center. The Training Center is going to be where you store documents that you want your unit to have access to. So on your website, you're going to have an option to create a Training Center page. We'll go through that later. But I just want to show you real quick that anything that you see here in the Training Center, going over to our website, if you do have a Training Center page, it's going to be reflected here. So just keep that in mind, that any changes you make within your UnitWise account here are going to be reflected on your Training Center. And it's the same with the photo gallery. So this is what your photo gallery will look like when you're editing it. When it's live on your site, it'll look like this. So again, just keep in mind that any changes you make in the photo gallery will be displayed on your site. And one more thing with the Training Center, you can actually only upload PDFs and documents to it. It doesn't allow for video uploads, so just keep that in mind. And the last thing here is going to be your shared library. These are documents that you're going to be sharing with other UnitWise members. So these are other directors that have chosen to share their documents. And if you choose to share any document, it will appear here, and only UnitWise members that have access to a resource library would be able to see that. So just to show you how you would do that, let's say that you want to share this document. You would just put the check mark there and then go up to the top right and go to Share Document. Right? And you would choose where you want to share that to, and it would then go into your shared library. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get started with the website. Now that you know how to add the files that you'll want to pull from it, so you'll just go ahead and go to Social Media up at the top. Click on My Website. All right, and here you're going to see kind of a preview of what the site looks like. Up at the top, you'll see some options. You'll see Manage Site Password, which we'll get into a little bit more later. Managing the guest book. So if you have a guest book function on your site where people can leave comments, you can manage those comments here. Then you have Manage. In the domain section here, you could either manage your current custom domain or request one through UnitWise. We're going to go ahead and click on Edit Site. So this is what your edit page is going to look like. It's just going to default to the home page. So when it comes to designing your site, you do have a few options. Our first option is to pick one of the pre-made templates that UnitWise has. So these are going to be kind of our tools over here. We're going to click on Themes first. So these are going to be the pre-made themes that are already in your UnitWise account. You can just kind of click through, see if you find anything that you'd like. If you think you like one but you're not sure and you want to test it first, you can click on one, do Select to Preview to see what it would actually look like on your site. But if you know you like it, you're ready to save it, you can go ahead and click on Save and Apply to Site. And you can do that as many times as you want. So click through, see which one you like the best. And if you're not really liking any of those templates, we also have a design feature here. We'll go ahead and click on this one. So the UnitWise library is what you're going to see as a new user, even if you haven't uploaded anything. These are backgrounds that UnitWise has supplied for you. So you can kind of look through. And same setup, you can select any of them to preview before you actually decide to save them to your site. And if none of those are appealing to you, you also can just upload your own background image. So that's what we've done with the one that we're currently using. There are a lot of sites online where you can find background images, and it does give you the advice here for how large you're looking for. And so once you find a background image that you want, you can click Choose File, find it from your computer, and then go ahead and save and apply to site. Okay. So for your header, when editing the site, you can really just click into anywhere to start editing. So if you wanted to edit your header, you would just click right into it. We'll look at how to change this background color, this kind of tan color that we have on it later. First, I want to show you how to change or add any text. So we've already written in here Tori Super Unit, but you really could just start typing and put in anything that you want. If you wanted to change the color, you could go ahead and just hold your mouse down and highlight it. You can change the text color here, choose from that. You can also change the background color. So that doesn't work, but something like that. Let's see. Put it back to it. All right. You can also edit how the size of the header. If you want to make it any smaller or any bigger. We can add images to your header too. So if you had maybe a headshot that you wanted to put up, or any kind of little logo or custom design, to add an image, you're going to click on this little picture here, And don't worry about memorizing what each of these icons mean. If you just run your mouse over any of them, it'll tell you what they are. So you'll look for the one that says image, click on that. So it's going to give you the option to browse the server, and now you can either choose from something that you've already uploaded to your image library, where we were earlier, or you can click up here to choose file and find one from your computer. Just as an example, we'll just pick that one. You can adjust the height and width here, and it's going to automatically adjust it, so don't worry about it stretching out or the dimensions being wrong. It's going to automatically adjust itself. So you can go ahead and click OK, and that'll put that right up there in your header. Right, and if you change your mind, you want to get rid of it or add another one, you can just backspace and get rid of that. So as you can see, there is kind of a limit as far as how much you can customize to your UnitWise header. A lot of times users think that they can't have a custom header, but you definitely can. So if you have a header that you've used before on social media or that someone's designed for you, there's no spot to upload it here, but you can email that over to us at heroes@unitwise.com, and we can have our programming team update that. So really, anytime you have a question, don't feel limited by these options. Just email us and see if it's possible, and usually it is. So just let us know. Okay. All right, so now we've got your background set. You know how to change your header. Any questions before we go into adding pages to your website? All right, so we'll go ahead. Just keep going down this list here. We're going to go to Add. Click on that. It's going to pull up this box. Now it's going to show you some of our pre-made page templates that you can select from. Right. So you can make my own page. It's just going to be a totally blank page that you start from scratch. There's also a blog where it'll link to the blog that you can also edit in the social media section of UnitWise. Another popular page to do is a link to a page. So if you wanted to link to maybe your Facebook page or any other website, you could do that. And it would just ask you to put in the URL for it here. But just so we can kind of show how to edit the pages a little more, we're going to do a make my own page just to start with a blank slate. So we'll name it Stephanie's Webinar 426. And here we're going to let that stay, so when you look at that page, you'll still be able to look at the menus in the header. We'll go ahead and create page. And as you can see, it's totally blank. So we can do a lot of stuff with this page. Okay. Just like with the header, when you click in, you really can just start typing. And then you can highlight to change anything about it. So we could change the font, maybe like that. This section here is going to let you edit how you want it aligned. So if you want it all the way to the left, you'll leave it like this. If you want it centered, you'll click that one. And let's change the color here. And so now let's look at adding media to your site. So you can add links, videos, images. The first one we'll go into is like how to add a link. So let's say you wanted to link to Mary Kay's site. You could type something like, let's make this a little smaller. Okay, so go ahead and do the text that you want your visitors to click on to get to your link. And let's pull up, I think I have the catalog here. Okay, so let's say this is the page that you wanted to link to. Or we'll just do this one. So you'll just click into that to make sure it's highlighted. You can right-click and do copy. We'll go back to your website editor. Highlight the text that you actually want your users to click on. So maybe you just want them to click on the click here part. Make sure that part's highlighted. To add the link, you'll click on this little globe up here. And again, just run your mouse over to find which one is the link. So click on that. And then in URL, just right-click and paste the Mary Kay site that we were just at. And hit OK. So now when anyone looks at your page and they click on the click here, it'll take them to the Mary Kay website. All right, let's look at adding a video. So that's going to be this little film strip here that says Embed Media. You can click on that. So you have a couple options here. You can either add a video from the video library. So this would be one that you've already uploaded in that resource library we were looking at before. Or you can just add it here. So it doesn't have to be in your library already. Okay. So let's just go to YouTube and you would find the video that you want to use. I'm going to use our 5-minute Mary Kay makeup challenge, which is a very funny video if you haven't gotten to watch it yet. So right underneath the video, there's going to be share. So you'll click on that and it's going to give you some options. You'll want to click on embed. It's going to be a really long code and it should be automatically highlighted for you. So all you'll need to do is right-click on it and click copy. Go back to your website editor in UnitWise. And where it says paste embed code here, you'll just right-click, paste. Okay. And then that video that we selected is going to appear there. All right. Okay. And just as one more example, let's show you how to add an image. So it's going to be the same as when we added one to the header. All right. You're going to click on this little picture here, the little house. Browse your server to find the image that you want. And again, you can either choose one from your already uploaded ones in your library or just choose a file. Let's see. Let's pick this Gone with the Wind makeup look. Okay. And again, you can edit the width and height. So let's say, so you'll see when you hit, if you made it like 600, for example, it's going to automatically adjust so that the dimensions are right. So it's not going to stretch it or shrink it too much. And you can go ahead and hit OK. Let's say you hate the size of it, so you want it to be smaller or bigger. You can just right-click on it and go to Image Properties, and you can adjust that size again. And you can do that as many times as you want until it gets to the size that you want it to be. Let's make it a little smaller. Okay. All right, so now we've gone over adding a link to your site, adding a video and an image. I just also real quick want to show you how to add custom borders. So you'll go ahead and click on this option that says custom borders here. Click on that. And then you can just kind of click through and find which border you want for your picture. You can put text in the borders as well. We're just going to put it over the picture since it's already there. Let's click Add to Page with that one. And again, you can just enter in any text that you want or put that image back in it. All right, there we go. All right, so a lot of options that you can do on your site. There's just a few of them here. I'm going to make that. Okay, so now that your page looks the way that you want it to, by default, UnitWise is going to leave your page unpublished unless you tell it to publish it. So how you'll do that is you'll come over here to the left, and you're going to see a little globe with an arrow. You'll click on that to publish. It'll make sure, it'll ask you again if you're sure. You'll hit yes. All right, and now you can see it over here on the right in this menu. It says Stephanie's webinar 426. To make sure that you've saved those changes, you'll want to hit this green check mark that says apply. Go ahead and check that. And sometimes YouTube videos, this iframe picture will show. Typically it is actually showing on your site. Sometimes in the edit screen it just looks a little strange. Let's go back over to our live site and refresh it. And now you can see our page over here, and you'll see the video looks just fine. Okay, so we'll go back to your website editor. All right, I'll pause again just to see if you have any questions on how to add a page or adding images, video, or links within the page. So we'll move on to the next part. We're going to look at how to change the settings of your site. So the next option here is going to be page settings. You'll go ahead and select that. So from here you can change the settings for any of your pages. There's going to be a drop-down menu here, and you can just scroll through and find any page that you want. This is the one that we just made, so we'll look at that one. So here you can change the name of the page. We just want to take this date out. We can do that. And you can change the access here, so you can change whether or not this page is available to everyone, or if you want to password protect it. So you can choose here from your already made passwords if you have any. If not, you can click on Manage Password. It's going to take you out of the Edit website screen and into your Manage Password screen. So here it'll show any that you've already made. Again, you can edit them here if you want to change the password or change the identifier for the password. You can also create a new one here up at the top right. So you can put a password identifier. That can be just the name of the page if that specific page is going to have its own password. And then enter what the password's going to be and save it. So we'll have to go back into your website by going to social media and my website. Now that we've picked which password we want, go back to edit site over on the right here. Okay, and back to page settings. All right, so we're going to make this one password protected. We're going to use the red jacket password. And then we can decide if we want people viewing this page to be able to see your menu. So if you don't want them to see the top menu, the horizontal one over the top, you can uncheck top navigation. If you don't want them to see the side menu, you can uncheck that one here. So now when we go to this page, first you'll have to enter a password. And then even when you do, you'll only see the header. You won't see any of these other menus. Okay. If you want to make it a hidden page, you can do so here, just checking hide page. It won't appear on your website, but you would still have a link to that page that you could share if you wanted to. Let's update that page. And now we'll go back over to the live site and refresh. So now if we click on that page, like you can see here, there's no menu on the top or the side because we've unchecked that, and then it's asking for a password. So you'd have to click here if you did have the password, if it's something you've already shared with your consultants. If they don't have the password, they can click here to request access. It's going to send you an email asking for it. And once you put in the correct password and hit submit, then it will give you access to that page. So going back to the website editor, the next section is going to be general settings. So we'll go ahead and click on that. You can change the name of your site description. You can change which page it starts on. So when someone types in your website, if you didn't want it to start on home, but you wanted it to start on your About Me page or your blog, you could select it to start there instead. And that would be the first page people see when they go to the site. And here you can select if you want to show your Mary Kay website shopping link here. And we have, so you can title it whatever you want, Stephanie's Shop or Shop with Me, anything like that. And you'll just need to put in the last part of your Mary Kay website. So you don't need to put in the full URL, but just that last part here. And you'll want to leave the website published. And save and apply. We're not making any changes, so we can just kind of look at these other settings as well. These are terms and conditions if you wanted to write any for your site. And then the next tab is going to be menu order. So here you really can just drag and drop the different pages that you have on your site. This is a horizontal menu over the top, and this is the vertical one at the side. So let's say if you wanted all of your social media pages together, we'll put those together here. Want to move your training center over here, you could do that. Just slide it around however you want, and then you can click Save Page Order. Let's change our page so that you can see the menus again. Go ahead and do that. Okay. All right, and the next section here is going to be layout settings. So you can see kind of the different ways that you could have your site laid out. If you wanted the side menu over on the left, right, or not at all, you could change that around. If you wanted to show, if you've linked your Twitter already to your website, you could show your Twitter feed here. For the change HTML and change style, we're not really going to do anything with that, but if you did ever hire like a web designer, or if you wanted to go in and make any changes to the code, you could do that here. And then just like with the themes, you can click to preview it before you actually update your site. All right, so we'll pause again just to see if we have any questions as far as how to change any of the settings on your site. Okay, so we'll go down to our last menu here. It's going to be colors and fonts. So go ahead and select that. Okay. And it's going to pull up this screen at the bottom right. You'll notice as you scroll through that you really can change the color and font of every section. So you can do the entire page, the header. Navigation is going to be this top menu here. The content area, so within this main box here. Sidebar will be your side menu. And the footer, that's down at the bottom here. So let's look at changing the header color. Go back up. Okay. So we'll look at Site Header Background Color. You click that. And you'll want to click into this little box that has the color. So to start, you can click on either of these arrows and scroll up or down till you get to the main color section that you want. Let's see. Let's say we wanted to make it a greenish blue. And then at the top right of the square, you'll see a little circle. It's kind of hard to see, but you'll click on that, and then you can just drag it around this box. And as you drag it, you'll see that the background color of your header is changing. You can just drag it around until you find one that you want. And then once you find the color that you want, you'll want to do Update and Apply to Public Site. You'll click that, and then that color will be saved. Just as a note here, when you see something that says like hover color, that's going to be the color that the text changes to as you move your mouse over it. So you can see like I'm on Contact Us right now, and as I move to my blog and Consultant Training Center, that color changes. So that's going to be the color you're changing with hover color. When you change, let's go back to that. When you change what says active color, that's going to be changing the color that the text changes to when you're actually on the site. So right now we're on the home page, so home is that purple color there. So if we wanted to change that, that would be changing active color. If you wanted to change like link color, that would be changing anything that's going to a different page. So see down at the footer it's saying you can go to UnitWise.com, so UnitWise.com would be the link, and if we wanted to change that color, click on footer link color and click into this box again. And again, you can just kind of drag it around until you find the color that you want to keep it. And then once you do, you'll want to do Update and Apply to Public Site. When you're done changing the colors, you can just hit the X here. And we'll go ahead and click on that check mark just to save any changes that we've made while we're working on it. All right, so we've gone through all of the settings of your website, adding a page, adding different features within that page. Does anyone have any questions about anything that we've covered so far? All right, so that is everything that we're going to cover on the webinar today. If you have any questions that you'd rather ask us directly, just give us a call afterwards. You can either call or email us, and we'd be more than happy to set up a one-on-one walkthrough. We just go through your specific website and getting it the way that you want it. So feel free to call or email us, and we'd be happy to schedule that. Again, just want to mention that our next webinar is going to be on May 10th, and it's going to be focusing on the My UnitBuzz app. So you can also give us a call for any more information on that or register for that webinar. We want to thank you so much for joining us. And again, just let us know if you have any more questions, and we'd be happy to set up a time to talk with you. Thank you so much for joining us, and hope you have a great rest of your day.